Alright, let's make some Sprite. This lemon lime soda couldn't be easier, and the result tasted very close to the stuff you could buy off the shelf. Although actually it kind of tastes a little fresher. So this soda recipe doesn't require any complicated ingredients, just some time to make what is known as an oleo saccharum, which is the key to getting this drink that tastes less like a lemonade and more like Sprite. So let's go ahead and get started. Sprite is flavored from a mixture of lemon and lime, and I always figured you could make it just by mixing lemon and lime juice with soda water and sugar, but the resulting drink would be way too sour and wouldn't have that overarching, deeper citrus flavor that you get from Sprite. So today we're going to be using a method to extract the oils from the rinds of citrus, resulting in a more mellow, deeper citrus flavor. So for this recipe, let's start with our citrus. We're going to need 4 limes and 2 lemons. And just a note for the limes, we want to use the normal limes, not the key limes or other limes with very thin skins. We really want to make sure that we can get a good peel off each lime. So speaking of peels, we're going to peel these limes and lemons. With a peeler, try to get as much of the peel off of the lime or lemon as possible without really getting too much of the pith or the white part. We're just going to perform this with all the limes and lemons, making a nice citrus pile. Now, as I said, Sprite is a mixture of lemon and lime, but there isn't any reason why you couldn't add an orange into the mix, or even go for all oranges and make an orange Fanta using the same method that I'm about to show you. So once we have everything peeled, we can place all the peels into a bowl and add about 1/2 cup or about 100 grams of granulated sugar. Mix the sugar and peels thoroughly. We want to really make sure that every single piece is coated in sugar. And then the next part for this is we're just going to let it sit. What will happen is that the sugar is actually going to extract the oils from the citrus peels. However, this process is slow and it's going to take a while for it to happen. So we're just going to let this sit and let the sugar do its job from anywhere from about 6 to 24 hours. The longer it sits, the more citrus oil will be extracted. It's also not a bad idea to give these peels a stir every once in a while, just to ensure that we get maximum oil extractitude. Alright, so let's turn back to the actual limes and lemons. At the end of this recipe, we're going to want to use some of the juice. Not all of this, but we just want a little bit to add a zing to our final soda. So just juice them all up and put this into the fridge for later. Okay, so after our citrus has had time to interact with the sugar, we should see this runny, sugary liquid that's collected under the peels. This is our oleo saccharum, or translated from Latin, sugary oil. Although it doesn't look like the most appetizing thing in the world, this stuff is amazing. It's a sweet, flavored sugar liquid that really captures the essence of the citrus. We're going to want to filter out and extract as much of the stuff as possible from our peels. So using a sieve, try to rub off the sugar and collect the syrup into a bowl. This process is a little bit slow going and annoying, but it's worth every drop that you can extract. If you're having trouble getting it all off, you can also follow my lead and add a tablespoon of water to help rinse off the peels. However, this step is somewhat controversial because what can happen is that the citrus oils can separate from the water and the dissolved sugar. However, since we intend to add this to sparkling water anyways, it's probably fine. And honestly, the emulsion actually turned out to be pretty stable, a lot more than I thought it would be. Alright, so now we can perform the last steps to make some Sprite from our liquid gold. First, we want to add some lemon lime juice to the syrup. So I used about 4 teaspoons of the juice that we collected earlier. 4 teaspoons is just enough to give a little bit of a zing, but not enough to make it taste like a lemonade. So give this a mix. So then we need to add about a tablespoon of our soda syrup into a glass and add some sparkling water to it. Give it a stir and voila, we have ourselves a nice refreshing Sprite. So that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing. A full recipe is also available on my website, which should be linked down in the description down below. Alright, that's it for this week. See you guys soon. Bye.